What's up, IB history students? I was going to do a quick overview of some different ways for you to do your research for your internal assessment. If you haven't done a lot of historical academic research before, or if you've just found it extremely frustrating, I was going to give you a couple places to go to find sources. So I have to pick a topic quick, and I didn't even think about that. So let's say that I'm doing something on the Civil War. I want to look at the impact of the Battle of Antietam on emancipation and international relations during the Civil War or something like that. So one place I would go that you don't often hear about is Google Books, and that's at books.google.com. So putting that in there. Oh, I just said Google. My phone's waking up. It's scary. Let me stop that quick. Whew, big brother. Anyway, one thing you can do is you can go to so here's the website, books.google.com. And then my library is where you can go, and it's going to show like different, I don't know if you've ever purchased a book on Google Books, it'll be there. But one thing you can do is you can do new shelf, and then you can name it like IA research, and then go to, I don't know, you can make it public or private, doesn't really matter. Create bookshelf, and then it should give you somewhere eventually. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. It should give you your internal assessment. There it is at the bottom, research. So you can put things on here and save books on here that you need. So generally what this will do is it will give you previews of books or potentially full book texts if you want to. So let's say that I usually put the thing, if I want the thing directly in quotes, but Battle of Antietam. So it will give us different books, and if it has this little preview thing by it, it means that you can look at least part of the book. So I don't know, let's just say that I have this first one from 2015. It's going to come up and it'll show me different things from the book. Now, usually every time that your term is highlighted, it will show up in the book, which is helpful. The one thing that I'm going to caution against is you can use this, and if you don't have the full book, generally you don't need to read an entire book to get the things that you need when you're doing historical literature, but that might scare you a little bit because you don't want to go off of half-hearted information. So just make sure that you're doing your due diligence and getting the context of whatever it is that you're looking up. But then what you can do with this book, now that you want to save it, is you can save it to your shelf. And what I probably should have done is actually, there it is, add. So when it comes up, you click add to my library, and then you can pick which one you want to add it to, IA research, and then it'll be added there. Sorry, this is in the way. Done. Okay, so now when it's on, if I go down to my IA research, it's down there, and I can go back and look at other things. The other thing you can do is you can look for only books that are free ebooks, and sometimes you get some good ones. You'll also get, what ends up happening is a lot of books that are in the public domain, which are ones that were published like a long time ago. So sometimes you can get some that are pretty close to the actual event or are just primary sources. So anyway, just something to think about. This one, I don't know what this one is, but it looks kind of interesting. But again, things that were published in the early 1900s, it might be good for perspective and historiography. It might just be really annoying to look at. So that's one good place to go if you need books specifically, is Google Books, and you can make that shelf there. The other thing is Google Scholar, which is scholar.google.com, and then you also have like a library as well that you can put things into. But I'm going to just do a quick search for Battle of Antietam. Oops, I accidentally added something in there. So this will give you books, but it'll also give you different scholarly journal articles, which are a little bit shorter. And what I would look for are things that have this right next to it, which shows that you can actually download the actual text of that. So this one, for example, is located on this external site. It's about 7 pages, and it's going to talk to you about what went wrong, I'm guessing, for the Confederacy at the Battle of Antietam. So that's another way that you can find open source scholarly journal articles, so they're not looking at generic textbooks, but actual things that are making an argument. This will also usually link you to books as well, but there's a variety of resources that you can have at your disposal just by doing, a quick search on Google Scholar. So Google Scholar, Google Books are very, very helpful. Now, also the library at school has some good research databases that you can use. westdata.org/RHS. You have to have the password if you're at home. I believe it's like Smart One for most of them. If you're having trouble with the password, let me know. But I usually go to Westdata, the Renaissance High School, and then click on the library. And then usually I just go to those research databases. So there's a couple that are helpful. The History Reference Center is pretty good. I haven't used it a ton, but it looks all right. Generally, oops, sorry, I downloaded this and wow, 454 pages. This looks like this is somebody's graduate dissertation. Holy moly, I hope they got their PhD. Anyway, so a couple things that are good are Gale and Context for high school is a good one to look at. I think I already have it open actually. And then where is it? EBSCO Host is generally probably the best one because it's going to give you the most different types of journals and things like that. So Gale in Context, maybe this time I just want to do something that's just general American Civil War. See what we find. So this will give you a variety of different things. You just got to be careful of where it's coming from and, what the publication is, because you don't generally want something that's just a general textbook, but it gives you nice primary sources as well that you can use. Images potentially that you can use in your IA, and then you can break it down by different primary sources, things from magazines. So you might want to get like a smattering of various different things. Academic journals are always good to use, and then also you have EBSCO Host. The one thing I would do with EBSCO Host, so you don't get a bunch of crap that you don't need, is I would go to the advanced search tool and go down here where it's going to tell you. Shoot, I missed it. Oh, sorry. Choose databases is generally where you want to go. So what I usually do is I check off the ones, I just deselect all of them, and I want to choose Academic Search Premier, and then a couple other ones, because you don't want a lot like Medline, and sometimes the newspaper source can be okay if it's something relatively recent. Usually I'll do the History Reference ebook collection, History Reference Center, and then there's one more that I like. Sorry, Newswires usually. So anyway, I just deselect them and then just select the ones that I want, and then click OK, and then you can enter in Battle of Antietam, which is what we're looking up these days. See what we get. Yeah, so we have a number of things from a variety of different years. You've got these magazine periodicals, like one that specializes in the Civil War. There's History Today will be in there, Civil War Times, and these are really recent ones, which is helpful. The other thing is I usually do the PDF text just because I think it looks better. It's easier to read than the HTML. So if you click the PDF text, you'll get an actual copy of the article. Yeah, there she is. Okay. So there you go. Pretty short article, but still something that you can use that could be helpful from an actual, published, not scholarly journal, but generally like armchair historian magazine that's usually written by professors. So just you might want to check the author, but it's usually someone that's, well versed in the topic area. So anyway, those are the main things that I would use. I would start off with the books. I think it's good to have a couple books that you're able to look at, even if it's just parts of the books or chapters of the books that are related to your study, and then go on to the academic journals as well. So if you have any questions about how to do that, let me know, but hopefully that gives you a quick and easy overview of how to conduct some of your resource gathering